What's going on, everybody? I'm Billy. I'm with Renegade RC. It's been a really long time since I've been able to put up another video. Had a little spare time today, so I figured I would get one together. I think the last time that I was actually able to upload a video was about the unboxing of this boat. This being a Lindberg Sportfisher 40. It's a model of it's a 10 scale, or I guess it's a 10 scale model of a Chris Craft Sportfisher, and scored it online in one of the forums that I hang out on. Got it here, was really impressed with the boat. It's gone together really quick, even though it's been a long time since I put this together. It's been sitting on the shelf now for a little while. What can I say about it? It's been a lot of fun. I've made some mistakes here. This boat is extremely old. So I've had some fitment issues here and there. Nothing terrible, but some of it to where I didn't feel comfortable trying to heat this old ABS and rebend it. So I'm having to make some filler pieces here and there in order to make it look right. The boat looks good now. I believe it does anyway. So let me stop. I'm going to stop the camera, grab it, and actually show you some of the parts I've had to make in order to get this boat not only operational, but just to add some nice scale touches to it, I think, anyway. So I hope you like it. I'll stop it now, grab it, and we'll take a look. Here with the cabin structure off, you kind of get an idea of what I had to do. This boat was actually sold as a single motor boat. There was an intricate motor plate with a series of gears to have one motor set in the middle, then an outdrive system that went out to two other studs, or whatever you want to call them, that powered the drive shafts. They were plastic gears. I didn't see that they would be under a lot of stress, but I just didn't think it would give it the right drive. So I opted to make my own motor plate. This is just old balsa that I had from a Dumas kit in there, and I used the original motor plate as a template, cut it out. This is actually JB Weld of all damn things that I've got holding it in. The motors for the boat are RC four-wheel drive 65 turn motors. The reason why I went with them is they're a cheap motor. They're easy to cool. And I thought they would put off the right amount of scale speed for the boat. This boat's not designed to go fast. It's just to get out there and enjoy. So the only problem with that was the placement of the motors in relation to the drives. I had to source these universal joints here. I ordered off of Amazon, and they fit the shafts perfectly. Now, from the ends of the U-joints to the couplers on the motors, I had to get a little bit creative here, and I used two old axles from an SCX-10 and cut them off, and used if you can see here, you see the dog bone that sits into that cup, and they work great. I haven't had any problem with them so far. I am using a Easy Run dual motor ESC from, I believe it's Hobby Wing. Yeah, it's Hobby Wing. Plenty of power, waterproof, does the job. Now, I've only got it temporarily mounted in the bottom here because we've only tested the boat a couple of times. So I will be making another plate for it to sit up on, hopefully a little further up under the cabin here. For steering, I'm using the Traxxas 2075 waterproof servo. Same thing they put in the Slashes, the Rustlers, the Bandits, all of that. It's just a stock, real cheap, easy servo to use, and I'm using my Fly Sky setup. I know a lot of people don't like Fly Sky, but it's never let me down. The mechanics of it, now the servo rods are some that I made from some old push rods from an airplane that I got from a buddy. I have a buddy in town that owns a hobby shop, and I explained to him what I was trying to do, and he had these old rods and gave them to me which was fantastic. They worked out great. I've had no issues with them at all. They seem to work just fine. Um, I'm kind of on the fence of how I'm going to mount the batteries. As you can see, I've got some Velcro in the bottom where I had one battery just sat in the back for a little bit of ballast on the back end. I'll probably fab up a plate there out of styrene or something to get it up off the floor, but just for testing purposes, this is the route we went. Boat does really well. It handles well. It sits just about perfect in the water. I don't see any need to add any more weight anywhere else. It doesn't list to one side or the other. The only problem with it is that the props on this boat are both rotate in the same direction. I wish they were. I wish I had one clockwise and one counterclockwise. It would track a little straighter, but it's an easy adjustment made in the radio. Just take a little trim, and the boat does great. Again, it's absolutely just a blast to build, and let me get the cabin structure and show you that. All right, this is the inside of the cabin structure. There's some. First things first, the floor on this thing was just plastic, and I thought, I'm a big fan of the old Chris Craft boats. My granddaddy had a bunch of them when I was younger, and I remembered his all having teak floors. So I went and I bought a bag of popsicle sticks of all things and cut them, as you can see, cut them straight, and then stained them and laid in what's supposed to look like a hardwood floor. Now I got as close to teak. I don't think the camera picks it up, but I got as close to teak as I possibly could. Even as went on up into the front there. Now these panels here, the table, I think there's a couple more up in the front also. The door and the little piece above the door, all of those are wood also. And just to give it a little more depth, a little more warmth, and to make it just to look a little more real. I actually cut some for the back here, wrapped those around, and it really made it kind of pop. Now, I still got a lot of work to do to the boat. So, like here, I've got to fill in some. There's a couple places that I'm not happy with, like up under the console for the steering wheel. You can see a little bit of paint there. But they're always a work in progress, and so far I'm extremely happy with it. The color on this boat, I had a lot of questions about the color. The color is actually a Rust-Oleum. It's called an ocean mist. And there's, I think, 6 coats on it. And there's no clear coat. It probably will get clear coat, but it hasn't gotten it right now. These pieces here, right through here, now that it looks white, but I swear to you, they're a real light silver, along with the portholes here. Now the portholes on this boat were fun to cut. I cut those out with a Dremel. Obviously, they were bigger than the portholes were supposed to be, but I used a filler from Tamiya, filled them in, sanded them down, and it looks really good. The camera doesn't really do it a lot of justice, but it looks like it was that way from the factory. Now the inside of it I didn't sand on, but it's okay. But they're always a work in progress. Here is a place where I need to fill in. This is another place where this old ABS was just a little, it's not brittle, but I just didn't feel the need to try to bend it with heat. But yeah, so far so good. The old boat does great. Had a lot of interest about it. I actually had somebody try to buy it from me, but I don't want to sell it, and I'm real happy with the way it's turning out. So that's it. That's my latest project, I guess you could say. I can't stress enough, it is a work in progress. I still have a lot of work to do to it, and once I'm able to find the time to do so when work slows down a little bit, I'll dive back in it. Lots of other things coming up. I know I've said that before in the past. Our race season at our racetrack here in town, RC Racetrack, is about to open, and I'm in the process of building 2 new cars for that, and hope I can get some time to shoot some video of those coming together. If anybody's interested, we'll be building they're both slash base chassis. We'll be building East Coast modified, and a lake model. Both new stuff to me. Using a couple of old used parts that I found, but new cars nonetheless. I have plans to build a really scaled out truck very soon. Not a crawler so much. Crawl with it, yes, but more of a scale vehicle. That will be the first thing that I build as soon as the shop is finished, and it's this close to being done. Just have to get the wiring and the inside of it finished, essentially. And then more content, more time to do what I need to do. I have to shoot these videos right now when my wife is gone. So, because otherwise you'd hear her in the background or see her walking through here, because she's in her own little bubble and I just let her go. So, so bear with me on that. Thanks for taking a look. If you like the video, like it. Feel free to subscribe. I'm not monetized. I don't plan to be. I just do this simply for fun. Hope you guys had a great holiday season. Take good care of yourselves. Get out to shop and build something, man. And let me know what you think. What you think I ought to do. And till the next time, we'll see you.